3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Hi, this is Scott Schrader. Tune in Saturdays for We've Got You Covered. From finance to fixtures and all things in between, when it comes to your home, we'll help steer you in the right direction. We've Got You Covered, 10 to 12 every Saturday on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Life is complicated. The Salto Agency is simple. And that's something very good to know in a world where insurance decisions are all too complicated. Taylor Salto and his team at Farmers Insurance will work with you to identify the insurance coverage that best suits your needs and provide a custom tailored solution to your home, life, auto, or business insurance. At the Salto Agency, you can get all your insurance in one simple location. Let the Salto Agency provide peace of mind so that you know that you and your family will be cared for properly. Stop by their new office today at 6229 Vance Road, Suite 115. You can reach the Salto Agency online at saltoinsurance.com. That's SOLTAU insurance.com. Let Taylor Salto at Farmers Insurance make your life a little simpler today. Farmers Insurance, the Salto Agency, custom tailored insurance.
There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood.
We've got you covered radio right here on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM. This is Scott Schrader, and we are covering today everything that you need to know about filing insurance claims. I know we've had some storms here lately, and I'm sure a lot of people have some claims that they need to have filed that they're worried about. How do I get this covered? How do I get this handled? And we've got an expert here in the studio, Jeff Amos. Jeff is a retired insurance adjuster who's been working in this industry for how long, Jeff?
About 30 years.
About 30 years. So I think we can say you've seen just about everything that that could come along as far as insurance claims and
yes, sir.
And the hassles and pitfalls that a lot of people run into when they're trying to file a claim.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
So what got you into doing this?
Well, actually, I kind of lucked into it when I worked for Equifax several years ago when they were in Chattanooga. My manager went to work for an independent company in Chattanooga as an adjuster and was trained, and then he got me into it. So actually, I got trained on the job training with this independent company in Chattanooga back in '89. Okay.
And what different insurance companies have you done work for? I mean, is it as an adjuster, do you work for one particular company or do you actually work for multiple companies?
Well, the first 16 years of adjusting, I worked for different companies through the independent company that I worked for. And then after that, I went to work for a company called Assurant that worked for them for 14 years when I retired.
Okay. So let's get into some of how this works as far as when someone has an incident where they feel like they need to file a claim. Most of the time, those are going to be things, that we see a lot of is involving roofing, siding, wind issues, rain issues. Those can be brought about by maybe a falling tree or things like that. What are some of the main issues that you see coming around where people are going to file a claim?
Well, whenever you do have any type of issue like that, with a tree limb or a tree falling on your house or on a piece of property that is covered, you need to think fast and contact maybe your agent if your agent is available. Let them know that you've had some damage to your home. Let that agent know that you would like for him to maybe look at it to see if it's worth filing a claim for,
Okay.
Because if you go ahead and file the claim immediately and not really know if it's under your deductible or over your deductible or not, then you have got an occurrence against you already.
Okay. So if we've got, say someone has had a limb fall on their house or they've had some shingles blow off, the first thing to do that we tell people is make sure that you don't have any more damage happening. And if people will read in their insurance policies, they're required, or they have the permission to go ahead and do whatever it takes to go ahead and stop any further damage.
That's correct. Yeah. What they need to do is, if there is missing shingles or a hole in the roof by any item or object that's fallen, you need to contact someone that can professionally put a tarp over on your roof to stop the damage from getting any worse inside your home. Because a lot of times, of course, if you got a hole in your roof, you're going to get water coming in.
Right.
So if you get the tarp installed correctly, then you won't have any further damage. Sometimes if you contact somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, they'll get on your roof and they'll put a tarp on there incorrectly, and then it's just throwing money away.
We actually have an instance of dealing with that right now with Chattanooga Roofing Contractors. We went out and took a look at somebody's roof. The woman said they came out and they tarped it. It was some friends of hers that came out and tarped it. And she said, but the water's still getting in. And they didn't take the tarp and run it all the way up over the peak of the roof. They just tried to tuck it under a couple shingles, didn't get it in all the way. So, the water doesn't care where you've decided it needs to stop. You really need to go up and over the peak of the roof. Sometimes that means buying a bigger tarp, but just having a professional that knows how to do it is probably the best way of handling that.
Yes.
So as we get into having that done, so say you have somebody like Chattanooga Roofing Contractors or another licensed and insured company come out to make sure that the damage is stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Is the next step calling that 1-800 number on your insurance policy and going ahead and filing a claim?
Well, it just all depends, again, how much damage that you have. Now, you need to know what your deductible is. If you know your deductible and you kind of have an idea, if you don't have an agent to talk to, kind of have an idea in your mind if it's going to cost over your deductible to do those repairs and pay for that tarping that you had done.
Right.
If you've got a $2,000 deductible for wind, whatever, and you have the tarp put on, that may cost you $250, $300.
Right.
Then you've got another $700 to spend for repairs to that roof.
Right.
It may need to be replaced or repaired. So you need to get a professional like yourself, someone that knows about roofing, to know whether they need the roof replaced or just repaired would be suffice.
Right. So calling your agent is the best option when dealing with that, instead of calling immediately that 1-800 number, because and we have a question online at Nooga Radio 92.7 FM's Facebook page. Don is asking, will filing the claim cause your insurance to go up? And what we found is, in most situations, it will. And that happens even if they deny the claim.
Right. Or even if you don't even have a claim, it's under your deductible.
Right. So if I go out and say I see a few shingles that are missing, I don't want to go ahead and file that claim right now. I want to get a licensed and approved contractor to come out, give their opinion, maybe do a report, an actual report on it with pictures.
Right.
A verbal report, a video report is even better.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can take that and send that to my insurance agent. And then that way my insurance agent can tell me, yeah, you've got a claim, or no, well, maybe you might have a claim, but the roofer who came out to look at it said it's only going to cost $1,000 or $1,500, and you've got a $1,200 deductible. Right. You might not want to go ahead just to be able to get $300, toward getting the roof done.
That's correct.
So in those situations, we can go ahead and, somebody like Chattanooga Roofing Contractors can come out, give you a full assessment. Mm-hmm. And then that way, if we've got a report generated with pictures, documentation, all that, you hand that to your agent. He passes that along to the insurance company. The insurance company is going to be a little bit less likely to go ahead and deny
Exactly.
Because they know you know what you're talking about now.
That is very true. Yes. And you've documented the claim very well.
Okay.
That's the number one key. Document.
All right.
With photographs or a video, like you said.
Okay.
And somebody with a professional like yourself that can, do the estimate and everything to determine what would it cost, then, send it to your agent let them make the decision. Now, if they don't have an agent and they got their coverage through their mortgage company,
right,
they would need to call their mortgage company and let the mortgage company turn the claim in for them.
But still having the documentation.
Right. But still have the documentation. And once that adjuster contacts you from the company, whoever the insurance company is, then you will provide the agent with that information that you have.
What types of things are important to have in your documentation? We mentioned a report from a professional.
Right.
What other things can you put together?
A real good, detailed, and itemized estimate.
Okay.
Repair estimate.
Okay.
Or replacement. You have to have that because no insurance company will accept an estimate that just got a bottom figure of $5,000. You've got to have it broke down, itemized by square, by labor, by material, and tax.
Okay.
And then, of course, your photographs or your video.
Okay.
And basically, that's it. I mean,
and you taking photos as soon as it happens is important as well, correct?
Very much so. Before you do anything, take your photographs that shows the damage. And then if you get any temporary repairs done prior to the adjuster coming out, then you've got it documented in your picture showing what was there and how it got repaired.
Okay. So is there any such thing as too many pictures?
No, absolutely not. You have too many pictures, you need to take more.
Okay. So then after you have all that together, if you can't get a hold of your, if it's, it's significant damage, say a large tree's fallen on the house, in that case, it would be okay to go ahead and call,
yes,
the 1-800 number. But if there's any question at all about how much is covered, especially when you've got, we see a lot of it where you have companies that come through, they have a van of college kids or people that are, wearing their nice little blue shirts, and they walk around with a clipboard and they walk up to your house and say, "Oh, you've got hail damage."
Right.
They never even got on the roof, but they can tell that you have hail damage. Now, most of the reason why those people are out there is because they get a report from several different online reporting agencies that'll say this neighborhood had hail. This neighborhood had hail. This one was missed. This next one over had hail. So that way they come out and it's just shotgun method roof sales.
Right.
If they tell 200 people that they had hail damage, they might end up with, 20 people that actually had hail damage.
Right. That's correct.
But people get worried and they go ahead and, oh no, what do I do? I need to call my insurance company. Right. And now that claim got filed and your insurance goes up because you didn't actually have it.
That is correct. That's why you need to get a professional out to look at the roof, get on the roof, physically get up there and look at it, and look at, on the front, back, sides, wherever you got to look for hail damage or any type of damage. If you don't do that, sometimes you will get a claim filed. You'll file that claim and not get paid because it might be some other kind of damage like heat damage to it. There is a little fine line between heat damage and hail damage. You have got to know what you're looking for.
Right. Because hail damage is not always these nice, neat little dime or quarter size indentions. Right. Yeah. That are on there, that I mean, sometimes they're crescent shape, sometimes they're a line. Yeah. Right. Sometimes they're a ring with a dot in the center. I mean, it really, there's so many different ones. And then we see a lot of people that go out and they say, "Oh, I've got hail damage," but that was just blistering that's in the shingle.
That's true. Yeah.
There are a particular number of hail strikes that insurance companies are looking for?
Well, some do and some don't. The company I work for did not, but because it doesn't specify in the policy.
Right.
I don't know how that they can do that, but that's them. But a general rule of thumb, if you've got 10 in a square, 10-foot square, 100 square feet, then it would be replaceable.
But it's just for that facet of the roof. So if you see the front side, that we've seen some as low as 8, some as high as 14.
Right.
But going in and say the front side and maybe the left hip of the roof, they've got hail strikes, but then the back and the right hip of the roof don't have any. They'll only pay to replace that front.
Right.
They can't just replace a small section of that because of the laws in Tennessee requiring everything to be in like kind.
Right.
But then they can limit the amount that.
So you have to only replace, say, the front of your roof or the back of your roof.
Yes, that's correct. And if they like to go by line of sight. If you're standing on the road and you can see only the front of your roof, the front slope,
right?
Then and if it's got hail damage, they'll replace the full front slope.
Right.
If you have like a hip roof and you've got different slopes on different sides, and you're looking at the road and you see 2 slopes, then if you've got hail damage to your front slope and on the side slope you don't have, but you can see from the road, you still have to have that replaced as well, because line of sight, you can tell the difference.
Right. Especially the older the shingle gets.
Right.
The more it deteriorates. You might have one with really bad algae staining. The other side doesn't really have
exactly.
it.
Right.
Okay.
Is there a limit to the age of the roof? Say you have hail strikes, but you've got a 25-year-old roof.
No. If you've got an old roof and it's worn out and you get hail strikes on it, it's still hail strikes.
Now, one thing I'll add to this: the older the roof is, and the more granules you have lost, it's harder to know where the hail strikes are. So it's going to be harder to make that claim. But then you were going to mention something else about that, which is
depreciation.
Right.
Now, a lot of companies are going now to not paying recoverable depreciation on roofs. They did for a long time, and some of them still out there that do. But the big companies are getting where they will only pay you the actual cash value less your deductible. And if you've got a $10,000 roof replacement and you've had it for 20 years and it's a 30-year roof, they're going to depreciate 75%. So.
Right. That's the difference between the ACV and the RCV policy?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so an ACV policy is an actual cash value policy, and then the RCV is a recoverable cash value policy.
Right. Replacement cash value.
So when you get your report from the adjuster, it will show the amounts that they allow,
right,
and then it'll say actual cash value, recoverable depreciation,
right, or depreciation non-recoverable,
right.
Yeah.
So, and this is something where you really need to sit down with your insurance agent at least once a year.
Yes.
Everybody tells you need to go to your doctor once a year. You need to go sit down with your insurance agent once a year and find out exactly what you have. Because like you mentioned, there's a lot of companies that are not doing RCV policies anymore.
Right.
Farm Bureau is one of them. They have cut way back on the number of RCV policies they allow. Now they tell you you're saving 15% on your insurance bill. And you are. You're saving 15%, right. maybe a little more, maybe a little less on your monthly insurance bill. But if you have a claim, you might only get 40% of what it costs to get your roof redone.
Very true. And you have to pay the rest out of your pocket.
And so what have you actually saved?
Not much at all. Probably lost.
Yeah, because I mean, if you want to run if you want to play a game of chance on whether you're going to have a claim or not, then maybe if you win, you saved.
Right.
But if you lose, you've lost quite significantly.
Very true. Yes.
So when it comes to we got just a couple minutes before the break, but when we're talking about ACV policy and RCV policy, the way that works is once the claim is filed, the adjusters come out and done their thing. They'll send you a first check.
Yes.
To go ahead and get started. That's the ACV.
That's correct.
If you have an ACV policy, that's all you get unless the roofer finds something else that can be filed as a supplemental.
That is very true.
Okay.
Right.
Or if you have an RCV policy, when everything's done, the roofer sends in the certificate of completion and they verify that everything's done. then you get your depreciation back in a second check on the back end, correct?
That is correct. But you have to make sure that you file that claim for the replacement cost amount within 180 days from the date that you receive your first check.
And you and I dealt with that in a situation where a woman was really on the cusp of not getting a significant amount back when we went in and replaced a roof for her.
Yes.
So make sure you stay on top of these things, because a lot of times your insurance company's not going to really tell you, hey, you've got another check coming.
They're supposed to.
They're supposed to.
But they don't all the
But
time.
a lot of times it's just in the wording of whatever recoverable depreciation
Always read the fine print.
No, the important thing to do is when you get that letter along with that estimate from your adjuster, please read every word in that letter, because it explains everything.
And if you don't understand it, go to your agent.
That's right. Right.
Because they're there to help you.
Right.
They're there to walk you through every step of
That's
the
right.
process.
And that's their job.
A good
That's their
insurance
job to
agent will do
service.
just that.
That's right. That's their job to service that that contract.
Okay.
Is that the benefit of going through an insurance agent as opposed to just buying insurance online directly from the company?
Yes, it is.
You get that personal service.
Yes. One-on-one. I mean, that agent will even come out to your home and talk to you.
Yeah. And if you're looking for a good agent, you want to take a look at your policy, give us a call over at Chattanooga Roofing Contractors. We've got a bunch of agents that we've worked with, people that we know are going to do a great job for you. And we are putting together a list of kind of our own approved contractors and insurance agents and professionals in each and every trade that can help you out, people that we've dealt with personally and people that we know will do a good job for you. So when we get back from the break, we're going to talk about a little bit more about adjusters and what their jobs are. You're listening to us right here on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM. This is Scott Schrader, and as always, we're going to wrap the show. And you're listening.
Late.
Yeah, and we've got you covered here on 92.7 FM.
Chattanooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
A deadly car wreck left a vehicle scattered in pieces at 24 westbound the Tennessee-Georgia line. It happened on Friday afternoon. Law enforcement says that a pickup truck crashed into a semi-truck. The semi's front end was completely obliterated, and the pickup truck was barely recognizable. One as-yet unidentified person was killed in that crash. An electrical fire forced the evacuation of the McDonald's on Hicks and Pike. It happened on Friday afternoon. Firefighters say that an electrical junction box in the basement caught on fire. They had to use chemical extinguishers to put the fire out. No word on when they'll be back in business. Just a reminder, the Tennessee Valley and northwest Georgia are under a freeze warning for this weekend. Meteorologists expect temperatures will get down even into the 20s during the nighttime hours. Remember to bring your pets inside. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Let's face it, Old Faithful isn't as faithful as it used to be. Constant repairs are a hassle and can rack up quick in money and time. Landers McClarty Ford can fix that. Right now, you can get a 2016 Ford Focus, 34,000 miles, only $11,491. A 2017 Chevy Spark with only 17,000 miles for less than $12,000. A 2015 Volkswagen Jetta with less than 21,000 miles for $11,991. Yeah, browse their entire inventory of new and new-to-you cars, trucks, and SUVs online at Landers McCarty Ford of FortPayne.com. Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. If you can't find your next perfect ride, they'll go find it for you. Big city selection, small town prices, friendly service, and top dollar for your trade. The savings are waiting and only a short drive away, so what are you waiting for? Get started with your personalized shopping today at Landers McClarty Ford of FortPayne.com. When it comes to family, I leave nothing to chance, including our financial future. I go to Michael Levy. He's local, takes time to know me, and helps me plan for our future. Don't put your financial future on hold. Call Michael Levy, 779-7755.
Even if you like your job, there are some things that can drive you nuts, like the anonymous coward who steals your lunch from the break room fridge, or maybe Tyler, the IT guy, who gives you that condescending look when you tell him that your computer is acting up again, as if somehow it's your fault. You put up with these clowns every single day. But what happens when you've had enough? That's the day you decide to retire. At least that's the hope, right? But will you be able to retire? Can you afford to retire? That's why you need to talk to Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial. They can't do anything about Cody, that moron who heats up fish in the microwave, but they can strategize with you on how to get the most out of your 401k or pension, how to grow your money without losing your shirt in the market, and how to help make your money last in retirement. Talk to Ron and Christy today about whether you'll be ready to retire when you finally had it with seeing Ethan walk out of the bathroom again without washing his hands. Gross. Call Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial, 423-710-2009, 423-710-2009.
Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins. Are you tired of making 1% on your investments with the banks? Even 2 or 3% at best? Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins.
Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Brainerd Road.
Man, you sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I worked with my dad on his truck all the time. Just one more bolt to go.
Yeah, wrong bolt. Today's truck ain't your daddy's truck. For repairs on today's vehicles, you need Amco Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. Amco Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way. The Thompson Pet way. Yeah, I just put that anywhere.
Hi, this is Scott Schrader. Tune in Saturdays for We've Got You Covered. From finance to fixtures and all things in between, when it comes to your home, we'll help steer you in the right direction. We've Got You Covered, 10 to 12 every Saturday on Nougat Radio 92.7 FM.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Showers will move off to the east for your afternoon. Still lots of clouds, turning cooler. Temperatures will fall into the 40s tonight. Colder with a breeze out of the north. Lows into the lower 30s with a freeze warning in effect. For Saturday, lots of sun, highs only 45 to 47, upper 20s Sunday morning. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily. Locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm Sorgene 12, Chief Meteorologist, Master 4.
Nougat Radio 92.7.
There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood.
Welcome back to We've Got You Covered Radio right here on Nougat Radio 92.7 FM. Scott Schrader here with my wife Michelle, and joining us in the studio is Jeff Amos, who is a retired insurance adjuster. He's here to answer any of your questions you might have about insurance claims and how to go about it. What are some of the things to watch out for, and how you can make sure that your claim is handled properly.
Speaking of having claims handled properly, we have a few insurance agents that we normally deal with here in Chattanooga, people that we know that will treat you and your family in the best way possible, making sure that you get the most coverage for the least amount of money. We would definitely recommend people give a call to Manning Insurance. That's Kevin and Brooke Manning. They're over on Hickson Pike. That number for Manning Insurance is 870-9370. We'll have a couple others here before the end of the show to give you out more information. And also we want to let you know that We've Got You Covered Radio is brought to you by Chattanooga Paint Pros. That is the sister company to Chattanooga Roofing Contractors. Chattanooga Paint Pros, that number is 423-800-7752. You can call us, give us a call. We can help you out with any of your painting and remodeling needs. if you have a question for me or for Jeff, you can give us a call in the studio, 423-800-8949. So, Jeff, we've been talking about filing claims, how to go about understanding the differences in different policies. What would you recommend? So when the claim is filed and the next step is where you would come in your part of the business as an adjuster, how would the process go there?
Okay, well, once the claim reaches the insurance company, they sign it out to the adjuster that's in that territory. The adjuster should contact you within 24 hours of the date that the claim was filed. So once he contacts you, you need to try to make yourself available or someone available at your home during the day. If you work, a lot of times you can have a neighbor or someone to, come over and meet the adjuster to show them the damage or whatever. But just be sure you try to make yourself available or someone available during the day, because adjusters can't see anything at night,
right?
Obviously. So they like to do their claims during the day. So if you don't have anyone, then the adjuster has to, prolong his investigation until you can be there. So once you have set the appointment, the adjuster comes out and he does his thing. He does the measurements, does the inspection of the damages, takes his photographs, and then he goes back and provides you with an estimate, repair estimate, and provides it copy to you. And then if you've got your estimate from someone like yourself or another contractor, then you would compare those two and see what the differences are. And sometimes the insurance company's prices are a little different. And please know that the adjuster's figures are just an estimate. It is not something solid. You can go back to the adjuster and provide them with a copy of the estimate you got from the contractor. And then the adjuster will be happy to contact the contractor and discuss the differences and agree with a scope and the price of damage.
So there's room for negotiation.
Yes, there is.
Because, a lot of times a contractor is doing an actual on-site measurement, whereas an adjuster a lot of times might be doing a satellite measurement.
Yes.
And there can be discrepancies.
Right.
The contractor can make a mistake in what their figures are.
Mm-hmm.
The satellite photo might be on an off angle, and it adjusts the quantities of shingles, of rakes, of whatever it is that you're doing.
Right.
Is it a good idea to have, if you already have a contractor that you think you might want to work with, is it a good idea to have them out when the adjuster comes?
Absolutely. Yes. As a matter of fact, that would probably help a lot to stop the, back and forth from the adjuster to the contractor, when they could meet there at the same time and agree on the scope of what needs to be done and agree on the price.
Right.
And that way you wouldn't have to go back and forth.
Now, what we advise people is make sure that you hire someone or have someone out there, even before you hire them. Just because you decide to have a contractor out there to talk with your adjuster does not mean you have to use that contractor.
No.
If you have not signed a contract with that roofing contractor,
mm-hmm.
then you don't have to necessarily use them.
They're not obligated.
And we would advise people, do not sign contracts with anybody until you've gotten the estimates out, get multiple estimates.
Correct.
And make sure that, you're getting the best price, and not just on price, but on value.
That's true. Very true.
So
what about these contractors that say, I will eat your deductible?
That's fraud.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that multiple instances of fraud in the second hour, where we talk about what to look out for from those. And you see that a lot.
It happens a lot.
It does all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. We're dealing with one right now, an entire neighborhood done by an unlicensed, uninsured contractor, who is not only getting a kickback from the insurance company, but
Homeowners also get kickback.
And you're contractually obligated to pay your deductible.
Yeah.
So it might be your agent that is telling you, I'll use this guy, but your insurance company wouldn't be very happy about that. And there's some recourse that they can take against you.
Sure. Yeah.
If they found out that your deductible got eaten up.
Yes.
And we'll get into some of those in the second hour. But when we going back to having the contractors there to meet the adjuster, that contractor is not there to in any way manipulate what that adjuster does.
No. Actually, he can't.
Right. Some of them think they can. I'll make sure that you're that the guy does a good job for you. Make sure that you get as much back as possible. And that's not his job.
No.
The contractor is not an adjuster. And if they start acting as an adjuster, there's some definite legal ramifications toward that.
That's true. And there's going to be problems.
Yeah.
In the future on that. When you get your contractor out there, and if he, like you said, starts acting like an adjuster and saying, I know that you've got hail damage, you've got to call your insurance company. We'll, get you a new roof and you don't have to pay your deductible. You better show him the door. There have been people after these hailstorms,
storm chasers.
They'll have a guy that'll come out and, he's got on the side of his truck, get a free roof, ask me how.
Right.
And that guy's still doing business here in town.
Mm.
And, I think he had to take part of that lettering off of his truck because you're not allowed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as a free roof. You are I don't know of a single policy out there that has a zero deductible.
No, there's not.
There's not. So you're not getting a free roof.
That's right.
And people need to realize too, when you're getting this done, insurance doesn't pay a huge profit margin.
No.
Those of us I'd much rather sell a roof to someone just as a roof replacement than as an insurance job, because I can make more money because there's things that we can do to kind of upsell, do some other things that increase value to the roof. We can use other shingles that give you more protection, those kind of things. Right. Exactly. The insurance company is going to pay for what they are required to pay for.
That's right. If you want to upgrade your shingles from 25 year to 30 or to 40, you have to pay the difference out of your pocket.
So when you're dealing with those kind of things, if somebody is coming in saying that they can eat up your deductible, it's coming out of somewhere.
Exactly.
It's coming out of either he doesn't have insurance, and that's the big one.
Right.
Because in roofing, what is it? Michelle, for every
23 cents on the dollar just for the workers' comp insurance. Yeah. Then you've got your general liability, you've got your payroll taxes. Mm-hmm. So you're paying for roofing. For every dollar you pay, you're paying 50 cents in insurance, payroll taxes, etc.
It's almost to the point where if you've got somebody who has insurance and their license, they're probably doing things the right way because
they're invested in their company.
Yeah. They're not,
and their customers.
Right.
And they're going to be here in 5 years because that's a big expenditure to be able to.
And it's really important for the homeowners to ask your contractors, are you licensed and insured? There was a contractor, a roofing contractor, who explained that he didn't buy insurance and business license because, one, it was so expensive, but two, his customers never asked him.
That's a mistake on the customer's part. They need to always be sure that they're licensed and bonded and insured.
How is that a protection for the homeowner?
Well, because if they're not insured, number one, if someone falls off their roof while they're, putting the shingles on and gets killed, then that family is going to go after the homeowner.
Yeah.
And that homeowner owns his house. He may not own it any longer. He may have to sell it and pay it out to the family because of hiring someone that was not insured.
Will your insurance company protect you in cases like that?
It depends on who the insurance company is. You do have some liability in your policy, yes, but it's not near enough to handle everything if you've got a death or a bad injury that occurs on your property.
So that can be something. You think you're getting a roof replaced, and now you're tied up in a lawsuit over a death or a bad injury.
from someone falling off your roof because you didn't check to see if they were insured.
Well, what about if the contractor said, "Oh, I can get around with that. I'll just let you sign a hold harmless agreement." That doesn't protect you from his. That doesn't protect you from his employees.
No, it does. It just protects him. That's all. It doesn't protect you.
Right. Yeah. And so that way he's giving you what you think are workarounds that aren't actually
workarounds for yourself. No.
Okay. So what happens if you have somebody that says, "Hey, I'll come in, I'll eat up your deductible," and your insurance company finds out that you did not end up paying your deductible? And usually that works out as the company will charge you a certain amount, but they'll tell the insurance company that they charged you $2,000 more.
Right.
They'll turn in an invoice. Right. What happens if that insurance company finds out about that?
Well, the insurance company will not come back on you per se, but they will have an opportunity to non-renew you. Now, if it was a lot of money, and if we're talking about, just $2,000 to $3,000, the company's not going to do anything because it costs too much to try to litigate or try to get their money back.
But you may not have insurance anymore when it's time to renew your policy.
So, you've got to be proactive here. Do what you're supposed to do. Hire somebody that is insured and licensed and bonded, always. And you won't run into any of those problems.
And if you don't like the high deductible, sit down with your insurance agent and find a policy that fits.
That would fit your budget.
Right.
With a higher deductible, the lower your premium is.
Right.
But you'd be surprised. If you've got a $2,000 deductible, you'd be surprised. It's not that much more on your premium to knock it down to $1,000 or $500 for that matter.
And those $500 deductibles, I mean, when people have got to have a roof replaced, then they're not really quite so
hard to come up with. That's true. And also remember that the deductible is not per year; it's per occurrence. Meaning that if you have 3 different wind claims or 3 different claims during the year, you got to pay that deductible every time.
Okay. So we're dealing with a situation right now. There was a storm. A woman was in her home. Storm came through, blew shingles off. And during the same storm, she had lightning hit her house.
Mm-hmm.
Is that 2 occurrences or is that 1?
That's 1. It's the same storm.
Right. So we stepped in with her and were talking to their insurance company, and kind of just advising her a little bit on how to handle those things, even though we are not, and we'll make this claim again, we are not independent adjusters. We're not licensed adjusters. We've just known how these things go, and we've advised her. And this woman was a Gold Star wife, a widow of a combat killed veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a claim on her security system, her TV, and her roof. She had a $2,500 deductible.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they were during the same storm, they said that they were going to charge her a $2,500 deductible on her electronics and a $2,500 deductible on her roof.
Well, that depends on how your policy reads too. Okay. The policy can read that they take a deductible on each coverage. You've got coverage on your home, or if you got coverage on your contents, they will, sometimes the policy will say they will take a deductible on each.
Yeah. And coverage. She didn't have contents coverage. She just had coverage on the home. So, it was one of those things where we had her get the Gold Star Wives program involved. And then, that's like, okay, are you going to do this to a veteran's widow? And the insurance company decided, well, maybe it's best just to go ahead and charge her 1 deductible.
Right. Well, that's what they should have done. With.
So, all right. So we've gone through all those things.
Let me add something else here. Also be sure that whenever you contact a contractor to come out, and if you want a certain contractor to do your job and everything is agreeable, if that contractor comes out and asks you for half the money up front,
no,
do not.
Run.
No, do not give them a penny. I'm saying this because I've run into this so many times. I have had people to call me and say, I gave the contractor $5,000 to start my job, and he left. I ain't seen him since.
Is the insurance
There's
company
nothing
going
we
to
can
pay
do
you
about
again?
that. No, the insurance company cannot. They have no obligation whatsoever to pay you anything. That was your doings. You did that, and what recourse you got? You don't have any.
Well, if you're dealing with a reputable company, anybody can go down to a roofing supply house and get,
a credit account.
Yeah, a credit account. I mean, they'll even start people out on just a per job basis.
Mm-hmm.
You can get $2,500, $5,000 in material. You get that job done. You go back, you pay your bill off immediately. The first thing you do is pay your bill off.
Right.
And once you do that, they'll, 2 or 3 jobs in, they'll give you $5,000.
Right.
And any reputable roofing company or general contractor has got operating funds.
That's right.
To pay their bills on a day-to-day basis. They don't need that money up front to be able to buy your materials.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's what we tell people. Watch out for the guys that are roofing for beer money, or as we call it, 2 men and a bag of weed roofing.
That's right.
That they don't take this seriously. They don't invest in their business, and then that way,
they're living job to job.
Yeah, and so we've had it's been surprising how many people before we start a job. How much do I need to give you up front? You don't need to give me any up front. Here's the contract. Sign the contract. We're good.
Right.
And when the job's done, we'll send you the invoice. You pay us.
Right.
And that seems foreign to a lot of people.
Now, let me add this. If the contractor does not do the job he says he's going to do, and you have a leak or some problem, be sure that you don't pay the recoverable depreciation to the contractor until the contractor gets the work done. If you do, you're not got no recourse to go back to make him come back to repair.
Right.
That's, of course, and if you've got a good contractor like yourself, you're going to do the job right.
Right.
Because you want word of mouth. People know that you did a good job. But there's some out there that will not do the job correctly and don't want to come back and do it. And if you give them all their money after they've done the job, you have no recourse to go back to make him do the job right.
Right. And usually, we don't even send out invoices till after the first rain.
Yeah.
Let it rain on it one good time. And then, now if it's in the summer and it hadn't rained for weeks and weeks, you probably need to go ahead and pay your contractor.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you're dealing with someone where you've gotten referrals, you've gone through and you've checked them out, you're not going to really run into those problems because, as you said, those people have worked hard to build a reputation.
Right.
They don't want to ruin it on one job.
Exactly.
All right, so we're coming back up on the break. We'll be back in for the second hour with Jeff. Jeff is a retired insurance adjuster. He's in here to answer any of your questions you might have on filing a claim. I know we've had several incidences here after these storms here recently. You can call in and have any questions for him, 423-800-8949, or you can send them in through Nougat Radio 92.7 FM. And also, if you are looking for someone to be able to sit down with you and go over your insurance and what is covered, you can give Brett Smalley a call at Brett Smalley State Farm. That's 423-843-3300. We'll be right back here after the break with We've Got You Covered Radio, brought to you by 423-800-7752.
Chatter, Nougat Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
A deadly car wreck left a vehicle scattered in pieces at 24 westbound the Tennessee-Georgia line.
It happened on Friday afternoon. Law enforcement says that a pickup truck crashed into a semi-truck. The semi's front end was completely obliterated, and the pickup truck was barely recognizable. One as-yet unidentified person was killed in that crash. An electrical fire forced the evacuation of the McDonald's on Hickson Pike. It happened on Friday afternoon. Firefighters say that an electrical junction box in the basement caught on fire. They had to use chemical extinguishers to put the fire out. No word on when they'll be back in business. Just a reminder, the Tennessee Valley and Northwest Georgia are under a freeze warning for this weekend. Meteorologists expect temperatures will get down even into the 20s during the nighttime hours. Remember to bring your pets inside. Russell Stroud, Nuga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Nuga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Showers will move off to the east for your afternoon. Still lots of clouds, turning cooler. Temperatures will fall into the 40s tonight. Colder with a breeze out of the north. Lows into the lower 30s with a freeze warning in effect. For Saturday, lots of sun, highs only 45 to 47, upper 20s Sunday morning. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily. Locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm Sorgene 12, Chief Meteorologist, Max Report.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga roofing contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com. For Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Call 423-875-3600 if you're looking to expand your professional look of your business. Then consider the vast opportunities that are available when you locate your office with the Raines Group family. Remember, it's location, location, location. And the Raines Group has the location for your professional office. Check out the spaces for lease at Executive Business Park on the Lee Highway. Small or large, we will be able to suit your needs with the Raines Group. Call 423-875-3600 for the business professionals with the Raines Group.
Where to go for lunch today? Go to the Top. The Top of the Hill Country Buffet offers a delicious lunch buffet every day. Golden fried chicken with mashed potatoes from scratch, daily fresh vegetables, a full salad bar with all the fixins, and fresh homemade cobbler. In addition to the buffet, Top of the Hill also offers a full menu. Plus, kids eat for $5 all day. Top of the Hill is located in Ringgold on Remco Shops Lane and is open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Where are you going for lunch? Go to the Top.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Hey, dude, check this out. Have you ever seen one so big?
Whoa, look at the size of that.
Look at this little itty-bitty one.
Wow, that's really small.
They have them big, small, and everything in between. You'll always find the biggest variety of knives at the knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. We're talking about over 40 brands of knives, including Benchmade, W.R. Case & Sons, Booker, and all the Frost Cutlery brands. Now, Sam, you've been to the cutlery shop. Is it amazing?
Spectacular. The knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. They have knives, swords, kitchen knives, ammo, and reloading supplies, plus survival gear.
It's the
WPLZ HD4 Ottawa, W224AZ Chattanooga.
Serving Chattanooga.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, the Tennessee Valley's most listened to news talk station.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Wendy Gillette. 9 deaths and 6,700 buildings and homes destroyed. That only tells part of the story in California, where 2 massive wildfires are burning in the north and the south. The fire in Ventura and Los Angeles counties is threatening 75,000 homes. More than 200,000 people are under mandatory evacuation orders. This man says his home is still standing.
Within 3 minutes, it went from let's monitor it to we were running for our lives.
CBS News correspondent Jamie Yukas is in Malibu.
There was almost this ring of fire around some of these canyons. And as the wind started picking up the embers and lighting the hillsides, everything just went up in flames. And then that created thick smoke throughout the area. And the flames are continuing down the hillside now to the Pacific Ocean.
State fire officials say the fire north of Sacramento is now the most destructive in California history. It has consumed 100,000 acres and is only 20% contained. President Trump sent out a tweet directed at France's president before landing there for ceremonies to mark the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. CBS News correspondent Elaine Cobb reports from Paris.
Neither president directly addressed that tweet about Macron's European army proposal being insulting. Instead, they focused on sharing the financial burden of NATO, where they say they are in agreement.
That's why I do believe that my proposals for European defense are totally consistent with that, because it means more Europe within NATO, more capacity in order to take our part of the burden.
President Trump responded he's in favor of whichever way strengthens Europe. Elaine Cobb, CBS News, Paris.
Turkey's president says recordings of the killing of Saudi critic Jamal Khashoggi were given to the U.S. and other countries. President Erdogan made the announcement at a news conference. CBS News correspondent Holly Williams is in Istanbul with a backstory.
Turkish officials speaking anonymously have previously leaked details to journalists, suggesting that the recordings make it clear that Khashoggi was tortured, killed, and then his body dismembered inside the Saudi Arabian consulate after he entered that building on October the 2nd.
The deadline is midday in Florida to turn in all unofficial vote tallies, with the governor and Senate races still undecided. President Trump made allegations of fraud and election theft on Twitter. Here's CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
The Florida Department of Law Enforcement tells CBS News that they are not actively investigating any allegations of elections fraud. The governor and Senate races are within the margin of error to trigger an automatic recount, which could begin as early as Sunday.
This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance. Pick from a range of coverage options with the Name Your Price tool to find a price that works for you. Find out more at progressive.com.
It's Macy's Veterans Day sale. Use your Macy's card or savings pass and get an extra 10 to 20% off. Take 30% off boots and booties at our great coat and boot sale. Save 40 to 80% during the men's event. And save 20 to 65% with our lowest prices of the season on furniture and mattresses. Now through November 11th at Macy's. Savings off sale prices, exclusions apply. Macy's Star Rewards members can earn towards Star Money. Ask your store associate or visit Macys.com/Star Money for details.
At Target, it's time to give, gather, and save with weekend holiday deals. This Saturday and Sunday, save 25% on home decor, bath and bedding, furniture, and more, including 25% off Threshold performance sheets and console table, and 25% off a Hearth & Hand with Magnolia appetizer server. With the season ramping up and Turkey Day coming, get a head start on your list and keep your holiday humming. Gather round for weekend holiday deals all season long, only at Target. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Research finds active shooter drills for children can be harmful. CBS's Stephen Kaufman reports.
When school children are exposed to active shooter drills, their young brains can't tell the difference between simulated trauma and real trauma, thus creating stress hormones. Research from the University of Arizona's Dr. Heidi Pottinger found such hormones can impact children far beyond their school years.
If they're not given the opportunity to release those stress hormones, they build up in the body, they can cause inflammation and set the stage for post-traumatic stress disorder.
A countermeasure would be to elevate a child's self-confidence. Stephen Kaufman, CBS News, Prescott, Arizona.
If you like your cup of joe, it's coffee harvest season in Costa Rica. Many plantations offer tours to see how the coffee fruits are picked and processed. And some are offering special deals, like Finca Rosa Blanca Coffee Plantation Resort in San Jose has a package that includes a stay, hands-on harvest experience, and coffee scrub in the
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
A deadly car wreck left a vehicle scattered in pieces at 24 westbound the Tennessee-Georgia line. It happened on Friday afternoon. Law enforcement says that a pickup truck crashed into a semi-truck. The semi's front end was completely obliterated, and the pickup truck was barely recognizable. One as-yet unidentified person was killed in that crash. An electrical fire forced the evacuation of the McDonald's on Hicks and Pike. It happened on Friday afternoon. Firefighters say that an electrical junction box in the basement caught on fire. They had to use chemical extinguishers to put the fire out. No word on when they'll be back in business.
Just a reminder, the Tennessee Valley and northwest Georgia are under a freeze warning for this weekend. Meteorologists expect temperatures will get down even into the 20s during the nighttime hours. Remember to bring your pets inside. Russell Stroud, Nuga Radio News, Talking 92.7 Action News now.
Showers will move off to the east for your afternoon. Still lots of clouds, turning cooler. Temperatures will fall into the 40s tonight. Colder with a breeze out of the north. Lows into the lower 30s with a freeze warning in effect. For Saturday, lots of sun, highs only 45 to 47, upper 20 Sunday morning. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world-famous sauce. Open daily. Locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm Sorgene Twelve, Chief Meteorologist, Max Report.
Radio 92.7. Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Hi, this is Scott Schrader. Tune in Saturdays for We've Got You Covered. From finance to fixtures and all things in between, when it comes to your home, we'll help steer you in the right direction. We've Got You Covered, 10 to 12 every Saturday on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Life is complicated. The Salto Agency is simple. And that's something very good to know in a world where insurance decisions are all too complicated. Taylor Salto and his team at Farmers Insurance will work with you to identify the insurance coverage that best suits your needs and provide a custom tailored solution to your home, life, auto, or business insurance. At the Salto Agency, you can get all your insurance in one simple location. Let the Salto Agency provide peace of mind so that you know that you and your family will be cared for properly. Stop by their new office today at 6229 Vance Road, Suite 115. You can reach the Salto Agency online at saltoinsurance.com. That's SOLTAU insurance.com. Let Taylor Salto at Farmers Insurance make your life a little simpler today. Farmers Insurance, the Salto Agency, custom tailored insurance.
There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood.
Radio 92.7 FM. We have got Jeff Amos in the studio today, right here on We Got You Covered Radio. Brought to you by Chattanooga Paint Pros. That's Chattanooga Paint Pros, 423-800-7752. Call Chattanooga Paint Pros for any of your painting and remodeling needs. If you have any questions for our insurance adjuster, Jeff Amos, please give us a call in the studio, 423-800-8949, or you can send us any questions you might have on Facebook. You can watch us on Facebook Live now and send in any questions there that you might have. So we've talked about the claims process, Jeff, and so now in the second hour, let's talk a little bit about fraud.
Okay.
And how the homeowner can, one, not get tied up into playing the game that some contractors will play, getting them into committing insurance fraud, and then also how we can avoid dealing with those people anyway. Just 1 second. We've got a caller calling in. Go ahead, caller.
Go file a claim. Recently, we have, I'd say over the last 3 to 5 years, we've had a lot of, tornadoes and things come through. So the person going to file a claim, should they expect their insurance to go up after 1 or 2 claims are filed?
All right. Thank you.
And yes, it's possible that it will go up after a couple of claims. Generally, the insurance companies look at it as when you call in for a quote, they will ask you how many claims you've had in that year with whatever company you had it with, insurance with. And if you had 2 or 3 claims, it will affect your premiums.
And sometimes, I mean, we've run into people that have, gotten into kind of arguments with their insurance company over claims, and they get their policy canceled due to propensity to file.
Right. Yes.
And, that.
It's non-renewal.
Right.
But yeah, sometimes they can get them.
Yeah. We had a customer that was over in Hickson that they came out, told him his insurance company told him he was required to replace his roof. He went out, got a loan to replace the roof. Then as soon as that was done, they came back and said, well, you've got siding that you have to replace or we're going to cancel. And he's like, that was I got one loan already. I can't go out and get another one.
Why didn't you tell me about the siding at the same time?
Right. Why didn't you tell me about this at the same time? And I was talking to a friend of mine that was Kevin Manning over at Manning Insurance, and he said they're looking for a reason to cancel his policy.
Yes.
So those are some things, when you start seeing things like that, start going out and talking to different insurance agents and or go back to your original agent. First of all, see if they can help you. And then second of all, look at others.
Filing a claim and talking about your insurance rates going up, doesn't matter how long you've been with a particular company. Say you've had the same insurance, through the same company for 20 years and you've had one claim. Well, or you switch insurance companies every couple of years because the insurance rates are lower, and then you file a claim. Does it make a difference how long you've been with that particular insurance company?
It does make a difference. They do look at that, how long you've been a customer of theirs. I have a personal experience, and myself being an adjuster.
Yeah.
I had some soot damage inside my house from a gas log fireplace, and I had a claim there through Farm Bureau, and 6 months later, I had a hailstorm. Roof needed to be replaced. And then the third claim I was going to turn in due to a fire from the lawnmower that I parked underneath the crawl space of my house caught fire, and it smoked up the basement area and got smoke in the house. I was going to have to replace my riding lawnmower. When I called to turn in the third claim, the agent then told me, this is your third claim this year. You better need to think about this. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, of course I knew what he meant, but he said, if you're going to turn this claim in, you think about how much it's going to benefit you. If you continue with the claim and we pay you whatever it is, he said, we may pay you $600, we may pay you $1,000, whatever, after your deductible. But if you do that, we will not renew you at the end of the year. You'll have to find your insurance somewhere else.
Once you've been non-renewed, does it make it harder for you to get insurance through other companies? Does it make your premium go up with other companies, or is it just find whatever you can find?
Well, it's really find whatever you can find, but as long as you've been insured within, I think it's 3 months, then the insurance company will consider insuring you. But yes, your premium will be higher, especially if they've non-renewed you for a reason.
Okay. So what are some of the things where you've seen companies or individuals try to commit fraud? What are some things that you've run into over the course of your career?
Well, the biggest thing is not wanting to pay their deductible, and they're trying to get the contractor to charge the insurance company more money. So the insurance company would pay you more money where you don't have to pay the deductible out of your pocket. That is the number one fraud that I've seen.
So basically that'd be like, I come out to do a roof for you. I turn in an invoice to you that might be $5,000, but I turn in an invoice to the insurance company that's $6,500.
Right. And you've got a $500 deductible.
Right.
Yes, that's exactly how it would go. And that is fraud. And just hope if you do that you don't get caught.
Right.
Can you make money off of your insurance claims?
You can by fraud only. Insurance policy is not to gain by, it's only to put you back the way you were before the incident occurred.
Right.
A lot of people feel like that the insurance company is going to pay you more money just because you went through this claim, but that's not true.
Yeah.
There's no pain and suffering.
No pain and suffering.
No. So with us, we've run into hear that question a lot. Can you eat my deductible? The other roofer says he can eat my deductible. And our answer is usually the only problem we have that is, I'm one of the few roofers out there that hasn't been to prison. And I really don't think I'd like prison food. So I'd like to stay out of that, or ask them, you're not asking me to collude with you to commit insurance fraud.
Right.
So those kind of things are the most common areas of fraud. The other ones I've seen are the roofer that'll come out after a storm and he's a hailstorm and a tool belt.
Yeah.
What have you seen when it comes to those?
Well, I've seen where they'll get up on the roof and they'll start making dings in the shingles just to try to make the insurance company say that there's hail damage. And
Beware the roofer on your roof with a hammer.
that's right.
Yeah.
And beware of the homeowner out there with cleats on his feet walking on the roof.
Right.
Neighbors can see you, and if neighbors see you and tell the adjuster what they seen, then you're in trouble.
Right.
So
yeah, and we've seen ball peen hammers. We've seen people throwing ball bearings at the roof. We've seen either a baseball or a golf ball in a sock method. And you mentioned cleats. You guys go through training how to spot this stuff, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yes. And there is still a fine line there of what hail damage looks like or falling object looks like versus what you've intentionally put on there yourself if you try to commit fraud. When hail falls, it does not fall uniform. And
you mean it's not all perfectly
right,
round?
It's not perfectly round. It's all different shapes. And it's not just in a row. It's, sporadic on your roof.
You can have a bunch
in one spot and none on another.
None on another.
That's right. But see, a lot of people don't know that. They do now, I guess, since we talked about it. But
when it comes to wind damage versus hail damage, say we've had, we have instances of high winds, straight line winds, versus just, tornadoes. And you've got shingles missing, you find shingles in your backyard, but you go up on the roof and find out that the roof wasn't installed properly. Maybe it didn't have enough nails in it. Is the insurance company going to pay for your claim if they find out that the roof wasn't installed correctly, even if there was a legitimate storm?
Yes, they do. Okay. They cannot get out of that.
Okay. The only person
the reason for that is the insurance company has an opportunity to inspect that home before they insure it.
Right.
Okay. So they bind the policy whenever they put the policy on coverage on it. So they've got to pay the claim.
Right.
So,
and what we tell people is, where it doesn't protect you is when it comes to the manufacturer's warranty.
That's correct.
So if you've got somebody that's in there racking shingles, which ends up not having enough nails in each shingle, then you can end up with problems where, say, you've got 130 mile per hour wind coverage on your roof, but it was 90 mile an hour winds. Maybe you had some 90 mile an hour straight lines or something like that, and the roof blows off. Well, you've got a claim against the roofing manufacturer, as well as with your insurance company.
Right.
So in those situations, if it had been installed correctly, you could have gotten a full replacement from the manufacturer, not the insurance company, correct?
That is correct, but it takes you a lot longer to do that through the manufacturer.
Right. So making sure it's installed correctly is going to be something that protects you on your actual warranty with the company.
Right.
And it's always good to have both levels there.
True. Yeah.
So if you can document that, everything was done correctly, you have some recourse with the manufacturer, not just with your insurance company.
Right.
And if you can limp along and get it replaced by the manufacturer, you're much better off than having it replaced by the insurance company.
That's true.
Because you
don't have a claim against you.
Yeah. They're
not
not
have to pay the deductible.
they're not going to bill you every month.
Right.
We've got a question from a Facebook Viewer, is the insurance standard to drop an insured after 3 claims? Is there a specific number of claims you make in a year that your insurance company might not renew? Or does it depend on the cost of the particular insurance claim?
Well, it can be probably all that. If you've had more than 3 claims, they usually go by 3 or more, but for non-renewal. But then if you have one that is extensive, like a fire claim, and then you have another claim on top of that the same year, then they could also non-renew you from that. So it's not, and of course, every company is different too. You can't, just say with all insurance companies.
There's no industry-wide policy.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So when you're looking at people that are doing things like, causing roof damage, have you had instances where you've caught people doing that and then just denied it? Now they have a damaged roof that they have to pay for?
I haven't personally myself. I have suspected some homeowners doing it on some claims that I've handled, but I could not prove it.
Okay.
But there was one particular adjuster that I know that did pull up on the property and seen the homeowner and his son with cleats on, walking and stomping the roof at that time. He came earlier than what he told him that he was going to be there because he had finished his other adjustment job sooner. So that surprised him.
Seems to me you'd want to do that at 3 a.m. other than
you would think,
instead of like an hour or two before your adjuster's supposed to get there.
You would think, but they probably just had it, brain freeze. So, I need to get out there and make it look like hail damage.
Right.
But he took a picture of it, and needless to say, the guy called and withdrew the claim before it went through.
And people need to realize, you guys as adjusters, you're not out there to deny claims.
Absolutely not.
You get paid either way.
There's adjusters. That's right. And there's adjusters out there. A lot of them are good adjusters, but there's some out there that feel like that they are the ones that has to pay it out of their pocket, and that's not right to do. You should work that claim as if it was your own claim, and pay every penny that is owed to that homeowner, because that homeowner has paid their price for the policy and the coverage. I have always tried to treat every one of my insureds fairly. There's times that you can't make everybody happy because, it's either black or white. It's not a gray area. You've got to either deny the claim or you've got to pay the claim. So, there's a lot of deterioration that you can't pay for under a policy that people feel like you need to, they have to, but you can't.
Like decking?
Like decking, rotten decking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some companies will pay for the rotten decking because the decking is so bad you cannot re-roof over it.
Right.
And the homeowner may not be able to afford that. So the insurance company will usually pay for those pieces of rotten decking that, where you can get the job done right.
Okay.
Also, another thing about roofing, and I'm sure you've probably told your customers this, do not ever re-roof over an old roof.
No.
Absolutely, number one, it throws out the warranty on your new shingles totally. Yes. So, and it's not guaranteed by you, I'm sure, the labor.
Yeah, what we tell people is, if you want us to, we never provide the option of roofing over.
Right.
If someone asks us for it, we'll sit down with them and tell them, I can't guarantee how good the decking is underneath. Mm-hmm. If I can't guarantee the quality of the decking, I can't guarantee that my nails will hold. If I can't guarantee whether my nails will hold, then I cannot provide you with a labor warranty.
Right.
Now, if you're okay with that, and that's all you want to do,
you can sign a waiver.
You can sign a waiver.
Right.
But we're going to educate you on this process to begin with. And then after that, you can make an informed decision. But
that's why it's best to always, take it down to the decking. Don't even leave the underlayment on. Make sure you pull everything off so you can see if there's any damage or the beginning of damage that could get worse over time.
Yep, it's true.
And keep an eye on who's the people that are doing your roof. If they're not tearing the felt paper off, make them tear it off.
Right.
It's part of an actual tear off. They don't let them tell you it costs extra to tear off the underlayment. It doesn't.
That's part of the roof bed.
That's part of doing the roof.
Yeah.
And then make sure, their staining is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But especially if you have an OSB deck, it'll swell up as it gets wet, and then it doesn't hold the nails.
Right.
If the nails don't hold, the shingles don't hold.
Right.
And
you get wind and it's gone.
It'll blow off. And once you get one shingle blowing off, then that allows others to start blowing off, and you end up with even worse problems. So the money you think you're saving, you're actually causing yourself more problems in the long run.
That's true. And it's best just to get the best to start with.
Right.
That's one of those things why it's good to be careful of the lowest bid.
Yeah.
Because if you've got a roof that's got obvious sagging, that you know you've had extensive leaks, and they give you a bid to replace your roof, but it doesn't include any decking, that roofing company knows that once they take off the felt paper, the underlayment, that they're going to charge you extra. And once they've got everything off and your roof is exposed, you're kind of vulnerable. So if they come back and say, I've got your roof off, you need 15 new pieces of decking. That's going to cost you $1,500, but you need to agree to that now because it's going to rain.
It's raining in 6 hours.
Yeah.
So be careful of that lowest bid and make sure it includes decking, or if, talk to them beforehand about what happens if I need additional decking once you get that underlayment off.
See, a lot of those roofing contractors or some of the other contractors out there that's not just roofing contractors will underbid everybody just to get the job and then turn a big supplement in.
Yeah.
Yes, change orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to really look at the detailed estimate that they give you. That's why I say you have to have a detailed and itemized estimate.
Right.
You cannot just go by a bottom line figure, I'll do this for $25,000. You've got to have it, totally itemized.
Yeah.
That way you know what they're saying they're going to do, and you compare it with what the insurance company is going to pay for and what's damaged, and you'll know whether it's on there or not.
Well, and like we were talking about before, insurance companies aren't paying really high premiums for replacing a roof. They're not giving top dollar to do this. So, you've got to work with your contractor to make sure that they're doing things the right way.
Right.
You'd rather have them do it the right way than have them cut corners, because if you're getting them down to the lowest bid, and we had an issue like this with a contractor that were doing a job on 31st Street place, that he came in, the insurance company actually told the woman who was the homeowner that if they gave her an itemization, but they said, we know this probably is not right, probably going to cost a little bit more, turn in your invoices or turn in your bids, give us a bid and we'll go ahead and approve it. She told this contractor, who was unlicensed and uninsured, all this. He got the number for the insurance company. He sent the bid in directly to the insurance company, and he lowballed it. And they said, great, this is the one we're paying for.
Oh, no.
And so then he comes up, he doesn't flash the chimney. Well, we've run up under a break. We got lost here in the conversation. We'll be right back here in just a few minutes with the second half of this segment.
Chattanooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
A deadly car wreck left the vehicle scattered in pieces at 24 westbound the Tennessee-Georgia line. It happened on Friday afternoon. Law enforcement says that a pickup truck crashed into a semi-truck. The semi's front end was completely obliterated, and the pickup truck was barely recognizable. One as-yet unidentified person was killed in that crash. An electrical fire forced the evacuation of the McDonald's on Hicks and Pike. It happened on Friday afternoon. Firefighters say that an electrical junction box in the basement caught on fire, and they had to use chemical extinguishers to put the fire out. No word on when they'll be back in business. Just a reminder, the Tennessee Valley and Northwest Georgia are under a freeze warning for this weekend. Meteorologists expect temperatures will get down even into the 20s during the nighttime hours. Remember to bring your pets inside. Russell Stroud, Nuga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Let's face it, Old Faithful isn't as faithful as it used to be. Constant repairs are a hassle and can rack up quick in money and time. Landers McClarty Ford can fix that. Right now, you can get a 2016 Ford Focus, 34,000 miles, only $11,491. A 2017 Chevy Spark with only 17,000 miles for less than $12,000. A 2015 Volkswagen Jetta with less than 21,000 miles for $11,991. Yeah, browse their entire inventory of new and new-to-you cars, trucks, and SUVs online at Landers McClarty Ford of FortPayne.com. Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. If you can't find your next perfect ride, they'll go find it for you. Big city selection, small town prices, friendly service, and top dollar for your trade. The savings are waiting and only a short drive away, so what are you waiting for? Get started with your personalized shopping today at Landers McClarty Ford of FortPayne.com. When it comes to family, I leave nothing to chance, including our financial future. I go to Michael Levy. He's local, takes time to know me, and helps me plan for our future. Don't put your financial future on hold. Call Michael Levy, 779-7755.
Even if you like your job, there are some things that can drive you nuts, like the anonymous coward who steals your lunch from the break room fridge, or maybe Tyler, the IT guy, who gives you that condescending look when you tell him that your computer is acting up again, as if somehow it's your fault. You put up with these clowns every single day. But what happens when you've had enough? That's the day you decide to retire. At least that's the hope, right? But will you be able to retire? Can you afford to retire? That's why you need to talk to Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial. They can't do anything about Cody, that moron who heats up fish in the microwave, but they can strategize with you on how to get the most out of your 401k or pension, how to grow your money without losing your shirt in the market, and how to help make your money last in retirement. Talk to Ron and Christy today about whether you'll be ready to retire when you finally had it with seeing Ethan walk out of the bathroom again without washing his hands. Gross. Call Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial, 423-710-2009, 423-710-2009.
Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins. Are you tired of making 1% on your investments with the banks, even 2 or 3% at best? Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins.
Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Brainerd Road.
Man, you sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I worked with my dad on his truck all the time. Just one more bolt to go.
Yeah, wrong bolt. Today's truck ain't your daddy's truck. For repairs on today's vehicles, you need Amco Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. Amco Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way. The Thompson Pet way. Yeah, I just put that anywhere.
Hi, this is Scott Schrader. Tune in Saturdays for We've Got You Covered. From finance to fixtures and all things in between, when it comes to your home, we'll help steer you in the right direction. We've Got You Covered, 10 to 12 every Saturday on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Showers will move off to the east for your afternoon. Still lots of clouds, turning cooler. Temperatures will fall into the 40s tonight. Colder with a breeze out of the north. Lows into the lower 30s with a freeze warning in effect. For Saturday, lots of sun, highs only 45 to 47, upper 20s Sunday morning. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily. Locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm Sourcine 12 Chief Meteorologist Max Report.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood.
Welcome back to Rick. We've got you covered radio right here at 92.7 FM, Nuga Radio. Joining us again in the studio is Jeff Amos. We're covering all things insurance claims.
insurance agent that we would recommend is Nick Bosco with Farmers Insurance. That's Nick Bosco, 423-243-3200. If you have any questions for Jeff, you can give us a call here in the studio. We would love to be able to answer any of your questions. That's 423-800-8949. That's our studio line. Or you can send in a question on Facebook Live, and we will be happy to answer any of those for you. So getting back to what we were talking about with the woman who had hired somebody unlicensed, uninsured, they actually sent their claim, the bid into the insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
It was an extremely low ball bid, but the insurance company said, hey, we'll take that one. And this woman didn't know if she had any other recourse. So she went ahead and just told them, okay, fine, go ahead and do it. Even though the insurance company would have paid more.
Right.
And then he comes in, doesn't know how to properly flash walls, doesn't know how to properly flash chimneys, anything like that. Just ran the shingles up and kind of just rolled them up onto the roof where they'd catch water, onto the walls where they'd catch water. And then he told her that, well, if she had paid him more, he could have done a better job. And you know, you run across these things all the time. You know, so going with the lowest price option, you know, we're dealing with a customer right now. He said, hey, your price was $1,000 higher than the next one, and I know 2,000. Yeah. So he said, I know that I can go and buy my shingles over at Home Depot cheaper than you can buy them. And I was like, no, really don't think so. We buy thousands and thousands of bundles a year. You can't get better pricing than we do. But people think that, and they think they're going to save money by cutting corners here, cutting corners there, instead of sitting down with a contractor and saying, okay, this is what my budget is. How can we make this work?
Right.
Yeah. And
a lot of times you get what you pay for.
That's right. Well, you do.
The quality of your work
yeah.
is going to be less than if you'd hired the licensed, insured, invested contractor.
That's true. And a lot less stress.
So let's talk about when storms happen. There's two types of people that I see show up a lot after storms happen. One are the storm chasers.
Mm-hmm.
They come in from a different municipality.
Right.
And they'll come in and they'll just try to send out as many things as they can. They'll go ahead and tarp your roof, but they want you to sign a contract before you tarp your roof.
Saying that you're going to use
that
them.
You're going to use them.
Mm-hmm.
I would not do that.
No, that is not
advisable at all.
Any reputable roofing contractor will go ahead and tarp your roof for a flat fee with no contract that you have to use them to re-roof the roof.
And most of them will go ahead and tell you, okay, say it's $250 to tarp the roof. If you decide to use us, then we will.
That's worked into the roofing estimate.
We'll work that into the estimate because we know that the insurance company is going to pay for tarping.
Exactly. Right.
So there's no need, you know, maybe you pay a little bit on the front end, but you know, there's no need to sign a contract because you want options. When you run out of options, you pay more money.
Right.
Now
or you get less quality.
Right. Or the other thing that we see people run into is the licensed public adjuster.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these are not adjusters that work for the insurance companies, correct?
You're correct. They are the ones that work on the homeowner's behalf to do whatever the insurance company for that job.
But are you paying for that?
That is negotiable. We don't pay for his services. No, the insurance company does not pay for the services.
So the homeowner,
whatever the 20% or 25% fee is, the homeowner has to pay that out of their pocket.
Okay. So if there's been a storm and you have a licensed public adjuster showing up on your doorstep saying, you've got hail damage, you need me to be able to file this for you, sign this contract and I'll handle it for you. That's not the best way to use a licensed public adjuster.
Not in my opinion. No, it's best to just take the steps and not hire somebody to hey, you have to pay out of your pocket
because you don't need
the
them on the front
company,
end.
right? And the insurance company is not going to rip you off.
All right.
people think that an adjuster is out to get you, but he's not. He's there to help you and give you what is due you. So try that first. And if you see that you cannot get anywhere with the adjuster, and the adjuster is just going to be hard-nosed and not, you know, you can, if you don't agree with whatever the adjuster is offering you, you have an appraisal clause in your policy that you can hire you an appraiser. And the insurance company hires their appraiser, and each pays for their appraiser, and they meet and they agree on what needs to be paid. If the two appraisers can't agree, they hire an umpire, and the umpire will then negotiate the claim and get it the amount that needs to be paid.
So that's what's known as an arbitration clause, correct?
Michelle? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have recourse in there. Now, say if you just can't get anywhere, then that's the time to go ahead and possibly look into a public adjuster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he does go to bat for you.
Okay.
As far as trying to get everything that he can from the insurance company to put you back where you were.
But you have to understand that although you may get that claim filed, you're paying a percentage of what your insurance company pays you
to
that public
done.
adjuster.
Right.
So you may have your claim filed, but you're out 15 to 25% of your insurance proceeds, which is only going to cover the damage. So you're
That's
not
correct.
only losing, going to pay your deductible,
Right.
and you're losing 15 to 25% of your insurance proceeds as well.
Now, there's a couple public adjusters out here in town that are actually being recommended by insurance agents. We ran into one person who came to us after the home show and said, I think I got myself into some trouble here. They had hail damage. A licensed public adjuster came in on the front end, said, you need to sign this contract. You'll owe me 15% of whatever the insurance company pays. And then, you know, the guy was like, well, you know, now I don't have enough to pay for my roof. And this,
because I got to pay for my deductible, and now I've got to pay that 15% to the adjuster.
So, and we won't get into who the adjuster was, but supposedly they are experts in loss recovery. And so, you know, when he did that, then he came back to him and said, well, you don't have to pay me my 15%. You can just use this roofing company that I recommend and they'll pay me. Well, what he didn't tell them was that
he owned the roofing company.
That he and his wife own the roofing company. And they do a lot of work here in town. I mean, they do quite a bit of work here. And they do 300 roofs a year.
Mm-hmm.
But so the state law says that if you have an interest in a company that's going to do the work, you have to provide that. Well, that's buried in the lettering of his contract.
That's why you should always read the fine print.
Right. Yeah. And he doesn't tell people that on the front end. So, you know, he's skirting the line of
it's a fine line.
Fraudulent behavior.
Yeah.
And so you don't necessarily need to use people like that. Don't use a public adjuster on the front end.
Right.
Public adjusters have a purpose, but usually it's once you've tried to have some recourse there. And we've got some public adjusters that we've dealt with in the past, and they work within an ethical standard.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these people, they have no ethical standard other than let's make the bank account bigger.
And that's
in any industry.
Any industry. Right.
So watch out if you're dealing with somebody who says you need to use this roofer. Even if your insurance company comes to you and says, use this company.
Right.
We recommend this company, but get other estimates.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We got away from recommending the company that I work for because, I mean, you draw yourself into some problems. If you recommend someone and that person doesn't do a good job, then the homeowners come back on us.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to pay the difference. It's a liability.
Yeah.
So the insurance companies are getting away from that, of actually doing any kind of recommendation whatsoever.
Yeah, we've had some insurance companies even come to us saying, hey, you know, you need to be one of our approved contractors.
You can be approved, yeah.
And there's a fee for that. And, you know, like, no, thank you. We'll do on our own.
And we did have some approved, but we never did really use those because again, you put yourself in the liability situation as an adjuster for the
But
insurance
even
company.
if you get a recommended contractor, it's good to get other estimates. You need to see what
you need
your
to get at
options
least
are.
3 estimates.
Right.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you would advise people of when it comes to selecting a contractor or being able to handle an insurance claim? Anything that we haven't covered?
Just be sure, like I said, that they're licensed, bonded, and that they are insured.
Okay.
If you get that and they have got, ask for references. Have them to give you some references of roofs they've replaced or whatever and jobs that they've done for, and you make a call yourself and ask that person. I'm sure that these companies are not going to give you bad reputation or bad references, but maybe by word of mouth, somebody may say, well, so he did a job for somebody else, my neighbor over here too. Call my neighbor. You're calling your neighbor, find out maybe they didn't do such a good job for your neighbor. So, it's just word of mouth. You just have to do your job. Look for those good contractors that have a good reputable name and that will do the job right and that will come back and service that roof if there's a problem.
All right. And in our humble opinion, one of those companies that you can give a call to is Chattanooga Roofing Contractors. I think I might be a little bit biased, but Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, you can give us a call, 423-800-7752. We'd love to come out and be able to give you a bid. We've talked about doing inspections. We do those, and we are able to give quite a bit of documentation, not just photo and written evaluations, but also video for you to be able to go to your insurance agent and sit down with them and say, hey, I think I've got a claim. Would you mind advising me on this, whether I should file a claim or not? Once again, we will tell you we are not licensed adjusters. And we will not act in the capacity of a licensed adjuster. We don't negotiate with your insurance company. We don't tell your insurance company what they have to do. We can advise you on, hey, here are the steps that you need to take to file a claim. We'll provide you with as much documentation as possible and be able to help you out in that capacity.
Yeah, and here is the difference between our estimate for replacement and the insurance company's estimate for replacement. What is the difference in the dollar amount? What is the difference in the figures? Say the number of squares of shingles is different. And that's where we can step in and talk to the insurance company and say, this is what we've figured out in the number of shingles, and this is what you've figured out in the number of shingles. Let's come to an agreement of how we got different figures. And that's how we can step in.
And I got to say this. As an adjuster, I've had a chance and opportunity to work with you, Scott, on your jobs. And I do have to say that you are one of the honest ones that I have come across.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Good job. The homeowners were really happy. And you and I agreed on some stuff. I measured a couple of roofs and I paid a supplement. But you were honest about it. So
and that's the biggest thing that we've seen with a lot of adjusters is they'll work with you.
Mm-hmm. They will. Yeah.
The video the satellite photos don't always show everything. And you guys have so many different roofs that you have to do. You have to do them by Xactimate or Eagle View or some of the other programs that are out there. And it doesn't give the whole picture. So if you've got a contractor that his ego isn't too big that he's going to go in, he's going to tell the adjuster what's going on, and what they have to do. And the adjuster is amicable with working with other people. You can get things done.
Yeah.
And it can be very easy. Sometimes it can be difficult. We're dealing with a deck rebuild right now that has taken months because the
difference in building codes,
and they don't think they have to pay for this. And, but there's ways to handle these things and get the homeowner taken care of. And if everybody works together, those can be done very easily.
And a good contractor and a good adjuster are going to work with you and work together through that process.
That's true. Because the adjuster don't want to hold on to that claim forever. They want it off their desk.
Yeah.
And just like you want to get the job done and move on to another one.
So as an adjuster, let me ask you this. Do you guys get, as an adjuster, do you get paid once the claim is handled or is it a contract basis with the insurance company? How do those things work? I mean, is it? A lot of people think you get paid by helping deny claims.
No,
and that's not the case.
No. Staff adjusters get paid salary.
Okay.
They don't get paid per claim.
All right.
They don't get a bonus if they deny claims?
No, they do not get a bonus if they deny claims. An independent adjuster does not get any additional money, deny or approve.
Right.
So they get the same amount of money. So it's not a situation where I'm going to deny this one because I'm going to get an extra $150. No, that's absolutely not untrue.
Right.
So
with that thing, it's, just like anybody doesn't want to be stuck on the same thing over and over and over and over.
Right.
It's let's get it done, get it handled.
Good communication between the contractor, the adjuster, and the homeowner. That's the number one thing. Number two is
the homeowner does have to be involved.
Yes. And the number two, the documentation. If you've got the documentation and you've got the communication going on and everybody is easy to agree on, if somebody ain't going to be a hardball and try not to agree, then you're going to get it done fast.
Right.
So, in other words, homeowner, try to be lenient with your contractor. Don't try to hold him hard nosed wanting to do change something that he can't change because the insurance company's not going to pay for it. But sometimes people want to do changes in their home or a different type of roof that they've got now. If you don't have the money to pay for the difference in the material price, then go ahead and go with what the insurance company is paying for. So that way you can get that claim done and over with. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck there for a while trying to get your work done.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time today. We've got about 3 minutes left. I wanted to let everybody know coming up on the next show, Mortgage Sense with Kevin. He has got Rachel Bettis with him. She is with 35 South Real Estate. If you are interested in anything having to do with real estate investment, whether you're an investor or you're a new home buyer or anything like that, if you need any advice on mortgages, financing, these are the guys to listen to, and they can answer your questions. I'm sure they'd love to get a call from you in the next hour. And we'd just like to say that these few shows that we've been doing here and the involvement from you, the listener, we've really enjoyed. This has been really good for us and for our business, and we just want to be able to say thank you to everybody here at Nuga Radio, and also everybody that's listening. Please make sure you keep joining us every week as we're bringing on other contractors, other experts in their field. If there's somebody that you would like us to talk to, if there's something that you're wanting to know about, whether it's from investing in rental property or it's improvements to your home, landscaping, insurance, those kind of things, we'd love to be able to find those things out for you. We'll try to bring in our experts. If you are a contractor and you would like to come on the show with us and talk about what you do,
send us a message.
Yeah, we'd love to be able to talk to you, not just from a standpoint of telling the listener about how you got started or what you do, but how did you get started? What made you interested in going into the trades? We're seeing over and over, there is a severe shortage of craftsmen, a severe shortage of people in the trades, and that's driving everybody's prices up. It is going to end up being, as I say, a national crisis. You want to watch society collapse? Let there be no more plumbers and
no more electricians.
Yeah, when no one can flush their toilets anymore,
no one to pick up your garbage.
Right, society will absolutely collapse. So let's encourage people to get into the trades. Let's save society, and they can be some definitely rewarding careers that people can look into. But again, we are brought to you today by Chattanooga Paint Pros. 423-800-7752 for any of your painting and remodeling needs, from sheetrock, decks, interior or exterior. We'd love to be able to help you out. And also give us a call at Chattanooga Roofing Contractors at the same number, 423-800-7752. This has been Scott and Michelle Schrader with our guest, Jeff Amos, right here on 92.7. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Chattanooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
A deadly car wreck left a vehicle scattered in pieces at 24 westbound the Tennessee-Georgia line. It happened on Friday afternoon. Law enforcement says that a pickup truck